Kanji for Lesson 4 of Adventures in Japanese, Volume 2. So we're going to start with this kanji. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oof, I balanced that badly. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's better. 7, 8. Notice there's a jump or a hook here on the right hand vertical, but none here on the left hand vertical. That's important. This is mon, meaning gate. So this is obviously just a picture of a pair of gates. A number of kanji have this mon gate as its major radical, and then something like in the gate. A couple of them are pronounced like mon or bun or something, and then some of them are pronounced like kan or kai. So this mon doesn't really give very strong evidence of how you would pronounce it in a complex kanji, sadly. But yeah, by itself it just means gate, mon, and it's used in a couple of additional words like curfew that we'll learn eventually. Next one, it is used in kikimasu, kiku, kiite. So we draw our gate, and then we're going to put a little ear right inside. Same stroke order that we would normally use for ear. So, kiku, kiite, kikanai, kikoeru, kikoemasu, can hear, right? Also, bun in shinbun newspaper. We have not learned the shin yet, but we will learn it in this textbook. So you will be responsible for the bun pronunciation of this kanji once we encounter the shin. Next, rain. It's a nice one, but kind of hard to get looking nice. Vertical. Set your pen just kind of outside, sorry, I meant horizontal here, obviously. Horizontal. For the first left-hand vertical, you're going to set slightly outside where this horizontal began. 1, 2, well, this is actually the fourth stroke. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is ame. Ame. It does have one other reading, but it's pretty rare. Ame is also a relatively common radical. As a radical, it's called ame kanmuri, the rain, the ame topper, essentially. And so we see this in, for example, electricity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Den. Like in densha, denwa, denki for electricity, etc. This is this bottom part is actually a component of the kanji for eel. So electricity, it's the thing that has to do with both rain and eels. What do rain and eels have in common? Electricity. That's what they have in common. So, fish. Fish. 1, 2. So it's a little bit like a katakana ku, but sort of squished up. Then a ta, like in Tanaka-san. And then this under here. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fish, sakana. I do not have a good explanation for why this combo. It's possible that it is just a pictograph. In the textbook, they show like a possible progression for how it could have gone from a picture of a fish to this. It's possible. Meat. 1, 2 with a hook. 3, 4, 5, 6. Niku. Niku. And this does often get shrunk up and appears in kanji like this, like a moon. So the way that you would know that the radical that looks like a moon is actually probably coming from the niku, meat, kanji, is because it might be appearing in a word that obviously has nothing to do with moons and has plenty to do with meat. So when you see that component in a kanji, it's up to you to decide if it helps you more to remember it by its meat pronunciation or its its meat meaning or its moon meaning, depending on the meaning of the whole complex kanji. Next one, cheap. 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit aggressive there. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. That's better. 4, 5, and 6. I'm sorry. It was not me, and I don't think it was Japan either. It was China that decided that a woman in a house was cheap. The one thing that I can say is that this kanji but can also mean safety or security. I don't know how safety and security wind up being associated with cheapness, but it's a little bit more palatable to associate woman in house with safety or security as opposed to cheap. Yasui. We learned this one a while back as a sight kanji. 1, 2. Then a mouth. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I maybe counted wrong. I did count wrong. 10 strokes total. Should be a little longer here. Yeah. Takai. Expensive. This is also obviously the ko of ko. Points. This kuchi should be bigger and squished up versus this kuchi should be a little bit smaller and more square. Also, this top pan lid sitting on top should extend out further than the kind of broad squished kuchi. I wrote that kind of poorly when I first wrote it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why I keep counting 11 strokes when there are clearly 10 strokes in the whole thing. Next one, to return, to go back. Sort of rare appearance of a katakana ri on the right-hand side of a kanji. This almost never happens. Left-hand side. It's almost always on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, pretty rare. katakana yo. This little element here that we've encountered before. And this little element here that we haven't really encountered before, but that means cloth. Pretty complex. So let me write that for you again, breaking it down. So ri, yo, and this little, it's like a crown or something, and then this piece of cloth. This is the ka of kaeru, to return home. Kaeru. Whoops, it's the kae of kaeru. My bad. We don't usually pronounce it any other way, although there is another pronunciation for it. Next one. To buy. This is kind of like a yon that's been sort of smushed up. It's lost its legs have straightened out. They're no longer kind of squatting legs. And then this looks a lot like the kanji for mimasu, but it's not. Remember that in mimasu, miru, the legs curve like this. They're sticking out straight on this, and that's actually an indication of a completely different kanji. So this is miru, and this kanji by itself is kai for a clam or another kind of seashell that opens and closes like this. Mollusk. And this is very frequently appears in kanji that have to do with buying, selling, money, finance, etc. Even like renting and loaning. So careful not to mix them up. It's not those nice big curving legs at the bottom of this kanji. It's these little short little legs. It's important. Rescued that. Kau, to buy. Kaimasu, katte, etc. And then we have new reading or reminder that you can have this reading. If we're talking about beef, that's going to be gyuniku, not ushiniku. So we learned ushi here for cow. In this case, it's going to be gyu for gyuniku, beef. All right. Happy studying.